Court had declared the child a Namibian citizen and had directed the Home Affairs to issue a citizenship certificate. So when we look at the judgment very quickly, it seems that the Supreme Court has gone with the argument that government made at the hearing. It wasn't contained in the notice of appeal or in the heads of argument, to say, well, you should have registered the birth in terms of the section. But if you look at the section, you can either register the birth in certain circumstances, or you can apply to register the child as a citizen by descent and obtain a certificate of citizenship. So, I mean, this is unfortunate if you look at the fact that they thought the matter important enough to convene a full bench of the Supreme Court. And at the end of the day, they're running with a technical point that was not properly raised, in my opinion. It doesn't make any sense if you read the section clearly, and the entire full bench goes along with it. So essentially, on a practical level, it would mean that Phillip would have to register the birth, which of course we know what Home Affairs is going to do. They're going to reject any attempt at registration, because the one thing that can be said for Home Affairs is they've been consistent in the harassment of this family. So they would have to do that, register. Home Affairs declines, you go to the High Court finds in their favor because they've done so before, you come to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court would still have to determine the merits of the matter. So all they've done is push the can or kick the can down the road to live to, I don't know, consider these things in another day. But in my opinion, it's very unfortunate and not the sort of thing we expect to see from our Supreme Court. This was the time to deal with the merits, and they chose not to. For a second time, they chose not to.
But what has to happen now is